to congratulate Sterling Bank for organizing this exhibition. It's something that is very, very key and important. One of the sectors that is important in Nigeria today, because the arts, culture, and creative industry is expected to be the next oil in Nigeria. And I'm glad that they have created a department for that in Sterling Bank, and they are encouraging our youths. You know that we have a lot of talented youths in Nigeria, and there are so many things that they can do in the creative industry.
Well, I want to commend Sterling Bank for sponsoring this exhibition and supporting these young talents. The major problem the creative industry has in Nigeria is that the hundreds of thousands of talented young men don't have any avenue to express themselves, and they cannot lead a sustainable career, because before you break into the big rank and your paintings, attract 5-6 figures, it takes quite a while. So what the bank is doing today is sponsoring these, young artists. Is going to encourage them and help them to achieve their potentials. And I'm glad the bank said this is only the first set, and they'll go around the country to identify and support young talents.
The exhibition tonight is good. It was well organized. We are very thankful that Sterling Bank, in particular, through their Department of Tourism, is establishing and supporting initiatives like this, which is primarily, to patronize new artists, up-and-coming artists, get them recognized and on the map, and develop our young people. Because as you know, in Nigeria we have a very young population, and job creation is always something that should be important to us and very paramount to us, because our biggest resource in this country is human capital. So development of human capital is our biggest resource in this country. It's not about digging up oil or selling palm oil or granite anymore. The world has moved forward. We are blessed with a very young population. So whilst everybody else is getting older, we are getting younger. Our population is also set to increase dramatically in the next 5 to 10 years. So everything that we're doing at the moment in terms of developing young people is the key to the success of the country in the future.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are gathered for this exhibition. It is a celebration of Nigeria's culture, our identity, our arts, and it is a space where heritage, where innovation and creativity becomes a bridge to commerce, and where stories told through art remind us of resilience, beauty, strength of our people. Ladies and gentlemen, we're honored to host you here at the very prestigious Federal Palace Hotel, PI Lagos, and we're surrounded by works from some of Nigeria's most inspiring emerging artists. As we walk through, we assure us that you will encounter art that not only captures our past, but also speaks boldly into our future. This evening, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we can look forward to curated displays, artist-led storytelling sessions, and an atmosphere of connection with collectors, creatives, policymakers, and cultural stakeholders. It is a night designed for inspirational networking and, of course, appreciating the incredible works of our artists all around, supporting them, buying their works, which have been specially provided for every one of us to see and also buy. So sit back and promise us with an open heart and let us enjoy the voices of our timeless culture and speak to it through art. Once again, we want to especially welcome us on behalf of the entire team at Sterling Bank, on behalf of the entire team at Federal Palace Hotel to the Uncommon Niger Art Exhibition, and we want to assure us that we are going to have a good time this evening. Very quickly, I want you to look to your neighbors seated to you, to your right and to your left, and give them a swift welcome. Tell them how good they look. Look to your neighbors seated beside you. Welcome them to this event. Tell them how good they look. Give them a sweet compliment. Tell them something it's their hair, if it's their car, if it's their phone, even if it's their power bank. Acknowledge something you can see on them. If your neighbor seated beside you is fair in complexion, very quickly. If your neighbor seated beside you is fair in complexion, say to him or her, you're the light of the world. I need to hear you very well. If your neighbor seated beside you is fair in complexion, say to him or her, you're the light of the world. I can't hear you very well. Say to him or her, you're the light of the world. So please say to her, you're the light of the world. Say to her, you're the light of the world. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Oh, you want to hear if you are dark? If you are dark in complexion, if you are dark in complexion, or if the neighbor rather seated beside you is dark in complexion, say to him or her, there's light at the end of the tunnel. Better still say to him or her, let there be light. And there was what? And there was light. Thank you so much, everyone. I want to assure us that we're going to have a good time at this event. Please do not forget the main essence of this event is for us to support our very wonderful artists here present, to buy their works. We have their works spread over. When the time is right, we'll tell every one of us to go around and inspect it. We have their barcodes that we can scan, and we have the accounts provided for us to transfer our payments into. And as soon as we confirm your payments, you have the work you're doing with. Very quickly, I want to acknowledge the presence of some of our very distinguished guests that are here present. First, I want to start with the Managing Director. I'll start with the team from Sterling Bank, and I want to start with the Managing Director of Sterling Bank. Ladies and gentlemen, please come put your hands together for Mr. Abubakar Suleiman, the MD of Sterling Bank. Please put your hands together for him. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Next on the list is the Group Chief Human Resources Officer of Sterling OPO, Temi Dali. Please come put your hands together for Temi Dali. Thank you so much. Next on the list again is the Chief Human Resources Officer of Sterling Bank, Diko Adibajo. Please come put your hands together for Diko. Is Diko here, please? Is Diko here? Okay, I think Diko will soon join us. And I also think the Motivational Head from Renewable Energy, Mobility and Tourism, that's Olabanjo Alimi, will also soon join us. He's not here yet. He's here? Oh, here's Olabanjo Alimi. Where is he? Please come put your hands together for him. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Please can you signify to us wherever you are? Olabanjo Alimi. Is he here? He's still around, okay. We'll still do the acknowledgements once again. I want to especially acknowledge Aki Don, the group head, Mobility, Sterling Bank. Is Aki here? Please let's put our hands together for Aki. Aki, please just wave to us. Aki, wave to us. Aki, please wave to us. I just acknowledge you, yes. Thank you so much for coming. I want to especially acknowledge the presence of the head of tourism business in Sterling Bank, Mrs. Abiola Adelano. Please come put your hands together for the very flexible Abiola Adelano. Thank you so much. And also want to especially acknowledge the presence of the Managing Director, CEO, Sterling 5, Charles O'Meara. Is Charles O'Meara here? Is Charles O'Meara here? Okay, please, thank you so much, Charles. Please put your hands together for him. Thank you so much. Very quickly, I'll move to the very amazing and wonderful team from Federal Palace Hotel where we are gathered. I want to start with the Managing Director, CEO of Federal Palace Hotel and Casino. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mr. Oladipo Oladimeji. Please put your hands together for him. Is Oladipo Oladimeji here? Wave to us. Is Oladipo? Oh, you have some. I'm just acknowledging your presence. We'll still call you. Just give us a wave. Wave to everybody. Thank you so much for coming. I want to especially acknowledge the presence of Ms. Anita Ibru, an Executive Director with Federal Palace Hotel. Please come put your hands together for Anita. Thank you so much for coming. We're very grateful for your presence. I want to especially acknowledge the presence of Mr. Tope Ibru, also an Executive Director, and the Managing Director of Guardian. Thank you so much. We're very grateful for your presence. I want to especially acknowledge the presence of Mommy, Mrs. Baby Ibru. Please come put your hands together for Mrs. Baby Ibru. Thank you so much. Very quickly, I'm moving to the Marketing Manager of Federal Palace Hotel, Mr. Nathaniel Libago. Please come put your hands together for Nathaniel. Is Nathaniel here? Please put your hands together for Nathaniel. He's at the back. Straight up to the Sales Manager. Well, finally, the Food and Beverages Manager of Federal Palace. Thank you so much for coming. We are very grateful. I know I paid for a spoken word performance. She's going to be doing this for the next 10 minutes. I know I'll be here.
Of course, thank you very much. Distinguished is my name, and I'm a spoken word as my heart. When we talk about preserving become indefatigable aspirants to insatiable desires for life positions where purpose places passion to push us to people, to see, and we see, or we don't see, because we see life's red flags as blue, see black as blue, bala blue, and as a student of the law, I tell you, we have only ourselves to sue for this. You see, I'm not a prophet, but believe me, I'm about to prophesy. I know many are the problems of the world, but none of them do I intend to magnify or amplify, but simplify. See, this life will no balance and skills. I'm here to demystify, so listen, I'm about to prophesy. If you grow up, you remain up. If you jump up, you conquer. This is to say, wait, don't rush, don't hurry, but don't stay, don't be still, and don't stress in this race. There's always a godly way, desire to daily milk for pace. Pray your way to the peak. After all, it's in you. See that? With passes an advert for peak, but not just that, but the step-by-step trip to reach the peak of more than sneak peek staying as the chicken. So your vision is like a maternal mission, a pregnancy. Now only you know how we do you. But when you say the sky is the limit, don't you consider the price of the flight? When you say you can do all things, don't you consider the strength of your fight? When you say you won't give up, are you talking of sacrifice? When you say life is a school, do you mean to use it for dinner this night? So the future is one for which to be sure. Yet no one knows tomorrow, so we all must live life as though it's not ours, but one we borrowed. So if you look well, you see. And life isn't about the sorrows, but what you do with the cause for sorrows. There'll be potholes, there'll be loopholes, there'll be sorrows, there'll be shadows of doubt that scout to see how much courage you have in your range at your age to grade your stage and reflect your range. But you must grow to know and show that the world is a canvas of opportunities, where you can paint your dreams into realities, blot out your mistakes, or to take on fake paints and brushes of rating, to reach new eye to fit your identity. The world is a megaphone, here to amplify, enhance, announce, and pronounce your voice with something loud. That move. Or home theater, the world is a big speaker and a bed maker. So while we use it to fearlessly and thoughtfully make the bed of our future soft tap, pray with me. May our fears rest in peace. And maybe in pieces. Amen. Now the second piece. Thank you. By this, every word, every syllable, a rod and a staff to comport the poetry. Today, I'm 22. The bridge is built. I know these are more weightier matters of the kingdom, and the only person who needs to convince is me. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it all for her. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. I know how you're waiting for that very wonderful spoken word. Very quickly, once again, ladies and gentlemen, now that the MD is seated, I want to specially welcome us on behalf of Sterling Bank and our partners, the Federal Palace Hotel. They welcome us very remarkably to this gathering, the Uncover Niger Arts Exhibition, with the theme Timeless Voices, Preserving Culture and Inspiring Change. And we know for sure that when it comes to a bank that supports the creative industry, renewable energy, mobility, Sterling Bank is number one. Yes or yes? Yes or yes? I think Sterling Bank deserves a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Please put your hands together for Sterling Bank. This is a bank that we are so proud of when it comes to anything creative industry, to tourism, to renewable energy. Thank you so much on behalf of the management and board of the bank, and on behalf of the management and board of Federal Palace Hotel for coming today. We are very grateful, everyone. Just like I said earlier, we promise us we are going to have such a good time. And the essence for this event is for every one of us here present to support our artists, to buy their works. We have their works displayed all over this space where we are, and we know that we are capable. I know some of our dear artists looking at me are so capable that they can just say, you know what, we have 20 pieces of art for you to buy, and they'll just close their eye and they'll think of an eye, they'll buy it. Yes or yes? I don't want to hear a no here today. Everything has to be yes. Yes or yes? Yes or yes? Thank you very much. Very quickly, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome to this stage or to this podium.
We believe that hospitality is more than providing exceptional services. It is about creating spaces where cultures meet, dialogue flourishes, and partnerships are forged. In today's interconnected world, cultural diplomacy is not just the work of governments. It is the shared responsibility of institutions like ours to foster understanding and collaboration through every interaction. Our hotel has been a meeting point for leaders, creatives, and innovators for decades. Tonight reminds us that when the private sector, cultural ambassadors, and financial partners come together, we can build bridges that go beyond businesses, that enrich our society, our economy, and our shared humanity. As we look ahead to December's tourism season and beyond, let us continue to harness the power of Nigeria's vibrant culture, its opportunities, and its people to the world. Once again, thank you, Sterling Bank, for your partnership, and thank you for all for being part of this journey of connection and growth. Together, we can make cultural diplomacy a living, breathing activity. Federal Palace Hotel and Casino is indeed a strategic, aligned, and accommodating destination where cultural diplomacy can thrive. Thank you once again for choosing us. Thank you, and have a good evening all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Kábíyèsí o. I know that once I have the attention of Kábíyèsí, everybody else will keep quiet. Let me open the evening by especially thanking our host. As I sat here and I was thinking about how we ended up this evening, a couple of things came to mind. Some of them are very personal stories. For those of you who know a bit about history, you know the connection between Federal Palace Hotel and Nigeria. There is a very, very deep history that connects this location we have today to the history of this country. One of my favorite sayings, I think I picked up from the Arrow of God, says that we should go back to where the rain started beating us. So today we've come back to where the rain started beating us. And maybe hopefully today we'll go beyond that. A couple of questions have also been asked about before I talk about the work we're doing today. What is my personal connection with the art and how did Sterling Bank become an institution that is so connected to the art? As I sat down, I remember the story as the Honorable Minister walked in, the former Honorable Minister for Information. I remember the story I heard about my father. He used to be in the culture space. He once took a famous Nigerian artist on tour out of the country. I don't know how many people have heard of Damara Jos. I'm not sure many in this room have heard of Damara Jos. So he took Damara Jos on tour out of the country, and at that time Damara Jos could not speak English. But he was one of the most talented artists of his time. He could use a single instrument and play music that many could never fathom. And within a few minutes of settling down at dinner, that man just disappeared and nobody could find him. And this was somebody who could not speak. What they forgot was that he was a star. And in that place, whether he could speak the language or not, everybody gravitated towards him. Okay, let me then come back to today. Is an evening for three things. The first one is that it is an evening for the three artists that we have found and we are supporting. And not just them, they're just the first three. Our intention at Sterling Bank, working with Tourista and Bilateral, is to go around this country and find artists at a certain point in their career where they have not yet become so successful that they no longer need us, but that with a little help, we could help them take the corner. That's how we found the first three artists, and I'll talk about what we are doing for others. The second set of people that this evening is about are the young people growing up in this country today who have lost the opportunity to interact with our art and culture. And the last conversation I want to have is about this venue and what it means for us. Why did we decide we needed to have art for young people? Sterling Bank operates a very inclusive banking environment where one of the targets has been the young people who are starting business or who are working remotely and they have nowhere to go to. We have converted over 20 branches into what we call Cafe One. And Cafe One is a co-working place for young people so that if they have issues with light at home or internet, they can come to those places, work all day, have meetings. But the place was planned. It was like most young people's place, very planned. We thought to ourselves, why don't we bring art into this place so that as they're working every day, they have an opportunity to interact with art. And our hope is that over time, they will gravitate from just interacting to collecting. And the second one was the people who themselves are in this market trying to make it through as creative. We realize that there are not enough people who patronize them. And without the patronage system, the art cannot grow, especially the deep art. The commercial art will grow, people will produce to sell, but they will never get to the point where they express their deep intentions in their artwork. So what we've done is to commission these three artists to produce 300 works, and we will make sure that these works are bought from them so that they can continue to do their work and to prosper. And then we make this work available to guests like tonight's guests so that they can also collect. And finally, why is this evening so important? Whenever we try to solve a problem, sometimes it is not our problem to solve. The problem of culture, even though a bank has a role to play, primarily sits squarely in the space of government and in the space of tourism and the entertainment industry. So when we start to solve the problem, we love to see other people look up and say, we like what you're doing, let us collaborate. So today is important because the second major collaboration, the first one was with the British High Commission when an exhibition was held, and it was an evening like this, was very successful. This is the second one. I'm hoping that this will just be the beginning, so that anyone that wants to support the creatives should please continue to partner with us so we can take this around the country. And someone asked me if when are we taking this to the rest of the country. Rest assured that even as we speak, we have identified or in the process of identifying 3 other artists in Abuja that are also able to go through the same experience. So once again, for those of you who have come here to collect the arts, thank you very much. I assure you that the art you see here are worth far more than the prices on them. I myself have collected a few. And for those of you who have come to enjoy the evening and interact with the art, I also thank you. So thank you very much, especially to our host, the Victoria Palace Hotel, for keeping up the legacy. Thank you.
Please put your hands together for Abiola. Put your hands together for Abiola, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. So you're all welcome to tonight. I remember growing up as a child. Everywhere around my house is actually full of artworks. My parents were educationists, so they're not so wealthy. But even in our toilets, in the bathroom, everywhere in the house, my father is a collector. And I realized that you don't have to be wealthy to be an art collector. He simply just loves art. He appreciates creativity. And that is the core of what we're doing today. So before we begin to highlight and spotlight those 3 talented artists that we're supporting as an institution, I would like us to reflect on what is art. So throughout history, art has been more than decoration. In ancient civilizations, it was how leaders recorded their power and legacy. In Europe, the great French and Italian masters created works that shaped culture, identity, and even wealth. Many of those paintings today are considered some of the world's most valuable investments. Art is not just beauty, guys. It is value. It holds stories, identity, and legacy. And just like finance, it builds bridges across generations. And that is why Sterling Bank is proud to create a home for the creative economy within our institution. Because when we talk about wealth, it is not about the numbers in an account. It is also cultural wealth, creative wealth, and the ability to invest in ideas that outlive us. Everybody that knows our CEO knows that it's big on that. It's all about impact for us, even before profit. And by supporting art and culture, Sterling is saying, we are not just bank that manages transactions. We are bank that believes in nation building, in legacies, and in creating new pathways for value. And just as we finance businesses and dreams, we also stand behind the artists and creators who tell our story as a people. So tonight, as we celebrate that, let us also celebrate the vision of building a Nigeria where creativity is seen as wealth and where our banks are partners, not only in financial growth, but also in cultural legacy. I will now invite one of the lucky artists that we are highlighting tonight. I would like us to put our hands together for John Akande, who will be telling us so far. Ladies and gentlemen, with a round of applause, let us welcome John Akode to the podium. Is John ready? Okay.
Hello, good evening. My name is John Akode, affiliate artist. So, I'm based in Lagos, Nigeria. I love to paint my identity. I love to paint my skin. And I love to promote African culture through my artworks and all. So, I actually love painting figurative works that depict a human community that talks about our community before. So I started painting when I was young, when I was small. So and from there I graduated from Yaba College of Technology. And so I also love to infuse what I love to do, which is music, into my artworks. I love to use my artwork as a voice to explain, tell people about our culture, about how beautiful it is, and about how rich our culture is. So, I want to thank Mr. Abubakar Suleiman for giving us the privilege to work with them, and also Ms. Abdullah. I really appreciate everyone. Thank you very much.
Let's give a round of applause for John. The creative are not great people. They don't like to speak. They are too talented to be speaking. John, come, don't go. Omoyeni, please come.
Good evening, distinguished partners, good evening, distinguished partners, friends, fellow artists. My name is Rachel visual artist. It's truly an honor to be here tonight at the Federal Palace Hotel in partnership with the Sterling Bank and Torista and Balactora for this special exhibition. Art to me is always more than a color on canvas. It's a language of emotion and resilience. So each word carries a story, an invitation to feel, to question, and to connect. Also, my work is inspired by women. Their resilience and emotion. And also they talk about the difficulty about women experience like abuse and domestic violence. I'm using my heart as a weapon to fight domestic violence, both physically, emotionally, and spiritually, and also highlight their strength and healing. And at the same time, my work also reflects about the bridge between the old and new structure, like how people carry history within them, and also never to forget where we are coming from, and also honor the layers that shape who we are today. This collaboration is a celebration of power of vision, and also in a possibility where artists, community, and institution come together to share a vision to celebrate culture, creativity, and humanity. The Sterling Bank has given me an opportunity to share my vision to a wider audience, and also encourage me to talk about as an artist. as a woman, is also encouraged me to think deeply about the role of art in our society. I'm truly grateful to Sterling Bank and the entire team for creating an opportunity for artists to that truly empower artists and also contribute to the meaningful to the world around us. To all our partners and creators, thank you for creating this platform, and to everyone present here tonight, thank you for supporting the art. Your presence gives life to this world, and also I invite you to work towards this exhibition and allow us to connect and appreciate.
A round of applause for Omoyeni. Quickly, Najib, please quickly step forward. Introduce yourself, what inspired your work, and how this initiative has impacted you.
I greet everyone here. Firstly, in Yoruba language, when we say king, we say Kábíyèsí. Mo small bad one with you. When you buy that, I'm happy on the idea. So, well, what I say in Yoruba is I extended a greeting to the king. So, in which no other language can interpret that tone. So, firstly, from Mr. Bakari, the CEO of Bilateral, right now he's in abroad for some arts dimension. He said, I should extend his greeting to everyone here today by welcoming them. We appreciate everyone here today, including the Sterling Bank for the wonderful project of art. At the same time, I appreciate individuals for their presence here. My name is Naji Muse. I'm an artist. I like to document the nature, the way it is. I like to use my colors to keep a record on canvas. As you can see, on our various places, we have some green tree, some landscape, most especially beautiful landscape in Lagos and in Nigeria. So I've used my acrylic to document those paintings on canvas. So those are the works you can see behind you that tell history and keep record of places, including the reflected light on water. So I will say thank you once again. So I will be stopping. Thank you so much.
A round of applause for Najib. Please come, Mr. Najib. Let's quickly have a picture. Where's the MC?
I also want to recognize our hosts of today, the duo. I will start with the MD of Sterling Bank, as well as Momi Medi Ibu. Thank you for hosting this beautiful evening. It gives me great pleasure to be here this evening to be part of this wonderful gathering. I'm highly delighted that when I received the invitation from Biola, it came at the time that it is very, very busy. But because of my love for arts, culture, and tourism, it is one of the basic tenets of being a traditional ruler of the traditional institution in Nigeria. I said I must make it a point of duty to be there this evening. And I'm so happy and highly delighted to be here. When we talk about arts, culture, and tradition, and tourism as well, they are interwoven together, and you cannot take one away from the other. When we talk about arts is something that is at the heart of our tradition. Most of the artifacts, most of the things that we do, we use as traditional rulers are born have some talented young men and ladies that have done wonderfully well in terms of the artworks that have been displayed here this evening. And we have had some of our people that are really into this. And it's one thing that we need to, it's one of the areas that we need to use to generate the much needed income for our country. And people like Anthony Bell, Bundahe, Art Gallery, even His Imperial Majesty, the Oni of Ife, is an art collector. The late Albert Wigwe, may God bless his soul, is into arts, as well as our big brother, Chief Sheila. These are people that have invested and put a lot of resources into preserving the arts and all these drawings, you know. So for us, it is a good opportunity. And I'm glad that those that are involved in the ones that have been exhibited here today are young men. We need to, can we have some quiet, please? We need to encourage our youths. This is one of the ways that we can encourage them. This is one of the ways that we can empower them. Because what they are producing is not only for Nigeria, it is things that can sell Nigeria abroad. We have very deep culture. We have very deep tradition. And these are some of the things that I know most times when I am abroad and the white people, foreigners, when they see some of the things that we do, I've had calls that they even have to take my walking stick. And they said they wanted this thing. I said, if you're not a king, you cannot use it. So they are so engrossed and they are so interested in anything that is art. And that's why I want to congratulate Sterling Bank for looking outside, for thinking outside the box, for making this opportunity for our youths to try in the arts and culture sector. I want to thank you immensely. And let me let you know that we, the traditional institution, fortunately, and the Southwest Coordinator for the National Council of the Traditional Rulers of Nigeria, in fact, we'll be hosting a NEC meeting sometime next month in Lagos here, by the grace of God. So, what I'm trying to say is that we are ready to cooperate with you. We're going to work with you. We're going to partner with you. We're going to collaborate with you to ensure that this initiative of yours is given acceptance by the royal fathers all over Nigeria, and then we'll also work with you in the area of tourism. Tourism is an area that we have not yet tapped. I've had the opportunity to visit some countries in Africa. I've been to Ghana, I've been to Uganda, I've been to Kenya, I've been to South Africa, and some other countries. And one of the things that we sell in those countries is tourism. And it is thriving, they are making a lot of money through it. They have parks, they have gardens where you see the preservation of animals. Even some of the animals that have gone into extinction, you find them in those parks. And when you go there, it makes you realize that Africa is the real future of the whole world. We in Nigeria, we need to wake up. Enough of asking people to pay tax. We need to look at outside and we need to think outside the box to think of how we can leverage all the things that we have that can actually bring some revenue into the coffers of the government. And you will realize that what we're going to get or what we stand to get from tourism is more than the revenue that we are all looking at, or revenue from oil, revenue from taxes. These are monies that you don't need to coerce people, you don't need to force people to get. So it is a lovely thing, it's a lovely evening. And the theme is well thought of, preserving culture, inspiring change. The change we need now is for all of us to look into arts, culture, and tourism. And And I'm glad that our uncle is there, Uncle Lai Mohammed. He has done a lot when he was a minister, and he's still very much interested and active. So these are the people that we can actually collaborate with, work with, and ensure that we make our arts and culture in Nigeria a thriving and a very beautiful one. Like in my own place there in Ilara, my kingdom, we have the Subo Eredo Trench. We all know the story of the Queen Sheba, that was meant to be the wife, that was said to be the wife of King Solomon. So part of the trench, which is about 120 kilometers, passes through my kingdom. And we have been working assiduously to ensure that this comes to life. This is a well-known, you can Google it, Subo Eredo Trench. You can read it up, and then you will see that this is one of the things that really I would like to work with in conjunction with the government and with the Sterling Bank and all the relevant agencies of government. We can actually make it to thrive, make it to work, to come alive, and a lot of revenue is waiting for us to tap from that source. So I don't want to bore you with a lot of talking. I only want to encourage you that we need to encourage these young ladies and gentlemen to continue to work hard. So let's see what they have in store for us, and as much as possible, let us pick one or two of them, and I'm sure that the Almighty God will reward you abundantly. Thank you, and God bless you.
My brother, my sister, Mrs. April, the managing director of Sterling Bank, a very energetic young lady who's actually behind all this. I think speaker after speaker today has spoken about how we have neglected creative industry. Speaker after speaker today have told us that the next oil for Nigeria is in arts, whether it's visual arts, whether it is music, whether it is film. And it's high time that I think we should look into this and seize the opportunity. When people talk about creative industry, for me it's not just art, it's not just fine art, it's not just music or film. It's also sports. And it's also our beautiful museum. I will start my speech by two personal experiences that shows exactly how much this industry is worth and how much it is important. I think it's both the KDC and the MD of Sterling Bank that spoke about cultural ambassadors, and that this, our artists, whether they are in music or sports, they are actually our cultural ambassadors, and the soft power Nigeria has. I was in Cannes a few years ago in France, and it was customary. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs would send someone from the embassy to check in the ministers. But this young man from the embassy that came and wanted to check me in, he didn't want to go through any hassle. But the young man who was at the checking counter said, no, we need to see the passenger. He said, no, this passenger is a very important person in Nigeria, and I don't want to lose my job. And the airline staff said, no, it does not matter who he is. We must see him. It's for the safety of everybody. So I finally turned up at the airport, and I went to present myself. And the man took one look at me. He said, so you are the big man from Nigeria. When they said big man, I was expecting to see J.J. Okocha. That shows that as far as the French people are concerned, the most important person was J.J. Okocha, who played football in France. That shows the power of creativity, power of the arts. The second story I will tell you is that I had a grandson, and was the only one named after me. But this young man had no respect at all for me. He didn't even want to see me. And because it was not just my grandson, but because it was named after me, I tried everything to make him my friend. He refused. Until one day, I went to Spain, went to Madrid. When they took us to El Madrid Stadium, they have a gallery there where they have all their top artists, all their top football players. So what you do, you choose your favorite and you press a button, and a picture will come out as if you are standing with that, legend. So I pressed Ronaldo and had a picture of me and Ronaldo. I came home. My grandsons came to see me. As usual, they went through my luggage. The elder one said, "Grandpa, please can I take this picture?" And I look and I said, what do I want to do with it? I said, "Yes, you can keep it." For the first time, my grandson, my older grandson never spoke to me. Went to the older one. He said, "Is that not Grandpa with Ronaldo?" I said, "Yes." Does Grandpa know Ronaldo? He said, "He doesn't know you have to take pictures with him." For the first time, my grandson called to me and said, "Grandpa, please, why will you take me to go and see Ronaldo?" That was the beginning of our friendship. I said this to let you know how important this ambassadors are. The last one is, I was coming from Abuja, and I sat at the aisle. Now this young man that sat by the window side, but every young lady, every beautiful woman that passed, stopped, stepped on my legs to go and greet him. And I was thinking, who the hell is this guy? Me, I'm a minister. This guy, and he was wounded. I couldn't see his face. So I was very patient until the flight took off. Then I talked to him. I said, "Hey, who the hell are you?" He said, "Daddy, I'm sorry. I'm sorry." I said, "Who are you?" He said, "I'm sorry, Daddy. I know I bothered you." I said, "Who are you?" He said, "Daddy, my name is Bado." Now, please, I will now go to my speech. I'm sorry. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's a privilege to speak on an issue very close to my heart: the future of African arts and the role that visionary institutions like Sterling Bank must play in shaping it. African art today faces many challenges, from lack of funding and global exposure to the absence of structured platforms for artists to thrive. Many of our most talented creators struggle to find sustainable careers. Yet, beneath the challenges lie a vast reservoir of potentials. Our continent, and particularly Nigeria, is blessed with millions of young people brimming with creative ability, energy, and vision. If nurtured, this talent can transform not just our cultural identity, but our economy. I see a future where visual art and creativity will contribute a significant share to Nigeria's GDP. just as technology and entertainment have done in recent years. Corporate sponsorship and patronage are the bridges between that future and today's reality. Around the world, leading banks understand this truth. Deutsche Bank and Bank of America, for example, hold some of the largest and most valuable art collections in the world. Not only preserving culture, but also using art as a tool for engagement, innovation, and influence. Their commitment has elevated art beyond galleries, making it a core part of their corporate identity. Here in Africa, the responsibility falls to forward-looking organizations like Sterling Bank and its partners, institutions that are taking the bull by the horn. By investing in African creativity, Sterling Bank is not only supporting artists, but also shaping the narrative of Africa to the world. It is building platforms for young Nigerians whose brushes, chisels, and imaginations will define the future. The importance of such patronage cannot be overstated. Art is not a luxury, it's a driver of innovation, cultural diplomacy, and economic growth. With Sterling Bank's leadership, we have the chance to position African art as one of the continent's greatest exporters and as a foundation for sustainable prosperity. I thank you and God bless you.
Thank you so very much. It's indeed a real privilege to be here. I really do appreciate this opportunity, and I indeed must commend the management, particularly the leadership of Mr. I was almost saying honorable of Mr. Abubakar. They're really steering the bank in the right direction. This is the only bank I'm aware of that's got a unit for tourism business and creative economies. I'm very commendable. That's a great one. And for me, we're also towing the line of Tourista in the bank. I should also let you know that your bank is also the bank of my local council development agency, the banking with you. But then, I should let you know that we're also towing the line of what you are preaching, what you did. We're trying to build an economy by local government around the nightlife extension of Allen and Obemi, for 30 December. And the only way to go about it is to toe the line and partner with Tourista in your bank to drive that initiative, to have a Christmas village around that stretch for December, building an economy. We already have an existing nightlife economy on that stretch. If you know Allen and Obemi very well, the only thing we can do is to consolidate on that and drag the diaspora economy during the festive period, particularly December, for that stretch and my local government. It also interests you to know that Olibongo LCDA has the highest situation of hospitality industries and organizations in Lagos State and indeed Nigeria, cutting across the Sheratons, the Radisson, Providence, the Shore Gates, and the like. So we can not just consolidate and leverage on that opportunity. I want to commend you for this very great novel initiative and hope that you also translate this initiative in my local government. Thank you. God bless you.
Good evening, distinguished guests, especially our royal father, KBC, here present, the former Honorable Minister of Information, here present. I salute you, sir. My big auntie, Mrs. Maiden Ibu, the publisher of Guardian newspapers, I salute you, ma'am. And of course, the managing director of Sterling Bank, the man that is doing all these wonderful things, marrying arts with life and with back. He's doing a great job of that. are the singular reason why I'm here, because as you can see, I just rushed in and I'm rushing out because I'm traveling the town this evening. But the truth is that you have been a worthy partner, selling back, even with my organization, the Marriott Hotel, GRA. We have started a collaboration between the bank and ourselves, which is going to deliver, or in fact has delivered, a charging port where you can drive your e-vehicles. I don't know if you realize that a lot of vehicles are going electric, even in Nigeria, which is the future. And we have a collaboration with Sterling Bank where we have built some charging ports in the basement of our parking. So when you come to the Marriott, you can charge your vehicles there. Well, I'm also aware that Sterling Bank, yes, like I said, have been promoting a lot of Nigerian artists, both in the entertainment but more importantly in the art sector, giving a lot of our artists a lot of opportunities worldwide, and making art getting a lot of value again. Well, I want to thank everybody that is here. The management of Federal Palace Hotel. I was told by my childhood friend, Mrs. Erejua Gbadibo, that in fact the Nigerian Independence Treaty was signed in this hotel in 1961. Yeah, 1960, sorry, 1960. Maybe because I was born in 1961. Sorry. Yes, I just told how old I was now. I met it, but it's okay. So on behalf of Makoli Hospitality, which is my organization, I want to say thank you all. I want to greet you, especially the Managing Director of Sterling Bank, for doing the wonderful things you keep doing with art. We are behind you, and I promise to collaborate with you in more endeavors like this. Thank you.
The fact that it was available to be accessed, I think is a great thing. More so, art is something that some of us live and breathe. Art is what gives some of us everything. It gives us life, it gives us breath, it gives us pretty much everything. And for all of these young guys who are doing great things in a country where you practically have to build everything yourself, build your own borehole, build your own electricity and all. But we still have people who believe in the country, and I happen to be one of those people. Thank you. I was having a conversation with a friend earlier, and I said, if I spend 2 days outside of Nigeria, my body starts to itch. And all I want to do is run back, even though I'll have to run diesel, even though the people will have to be treated. Nigeria is a blessed country, and that's what I want to encourage a lot of the young people here. I'm directing this message to you. Everything that I have built today, I built through art, and everything in that ecosystem. I'm sure some of you are familiar with Capop in Ikeja, and within Capop we have restaurants, we have academy, we have clothing lines. We do everything in the art space. And 4 years ago we also established something new, and that is Cap Film Village and Resorts, which is in Oyo on 60 acres. Everything was built through art and culture. So if we could do it, I believe you all can do it. And I want to wish you guys all the best. Erin, thank you.
Ayomide is my name, and I'm a spoken word poet. I'd say the performance was amazing. I think it was just as I imagined. I imagined in my head that I was going to really excite the audience, thrill them, and of course, eventually win their hearts. And I think I did just that. 5 years, spoken word poetry, about 5 years. But before spoken word poetry, I used to do page poetry, just writing, and that's about a decade now. But I've always been writing from childhood, like 7, 6. As early as I could start to write, I began to write. How do I feel about the event? I feel happy, and I think it's beautiful to be in a room like this where you have these many dignitaries. I think it's awesome, and I also feel very glad that we have such a platform where culture is celebrated, art is celebrated, and we are putting everything at the center of impact. I think it's beautiful, and I think with gatherings like this, the future is bright. Thank you very much.
And I like to use nature to document places. What I mean by that is, looking at the nature as a whole is a kind of, it has limited colors. So these are inspired me by painting landscape and reflected light on water and some prominent places in each state or country sometimes. So those are the inspiration that I do get from nature to keep our culture and preserve history on canvas.
We want to specially request that you also join in this photo session. Thank you so much. Yes, it's a group photo session and we are taking it all at once.
The artists that have come to exhibit their talent, Bilateral, Guardian, and Sterling Bank, of course. Now, if you know anything about Sterling Bank, it's the fact that Sterling likes to go in a direction that most don't want to go. And Sterling Bank has built a reputation around doing the very difficult things. And that's why our approach to banking is markedly different from what you find in the market today. And so we're very particular about the impact sectors. And one of the things that we're very passionate about is arts and the culture. And we feel like time after time, we find the opportunity to express that desire by collaborating with young artists, bringing the sort of relationships and social capital we have with organizations such as Federal Palace to give them the needed exposure. And by so doing, to give the entire, whether it's the youth or art lovers, the opportunity to interact with very quality art and generally find a way to continue to appreciate the talent we have in our land. And everywhere you look around the globe, you will find some very, very iconic partnerships between artists and big brands. For example, there was a partnership between Nike and the very popular designer Virgil Abloh, another with Nike and the likes of Travis Scott. Now, these are very, very popular figures. And it's, to be honest, it's a little easier to do, to find a famous artist and put some money behind them because they already know. But the hard work is identifying artists who require that exposure and consistently backing them and helping them to get needed exposure, to succeed. And that's exactly what Sterling is doing. And we believe very deeply that arts and culture is not a thing of our past. It's not a thing of just the present, but it's a huge bridge.
My name is Toby Fletcher, but I'm known as a father boy. It's world class. There's nothing that's happened here that hasn't happened anywhere in the world. I love the fact that the artists were able to express themselves through their paintings. It's deep. I like the reality that has been set in place. And I think more events like this should happen.
HRM Oba Olufolani Olukayode Ogunsanwo, the Alara of Ilara Kingdom in Ekpe Division of Lagos State.
Hi, Media Room. I am Abiola Adelano. This is a dream come true. Sterling, everyone that knows Sterling knows that Sterling is a bank for the visionaries. And for us, it is beyond just supporting the artists. It is bringing them to the limelight. So we have commissioned some of the finest artists in Nigeria, and beyond just commissioning, by helping them and supporting them grow their business, we are bringing them to the limelight, you know, by organizing exhibitions. The first one we had was at the British High Commissioner's residence, and this is the second one we are having, partnering with Federal Palace Hotel. I've always known that art is not only for the elites, it's not only for the 1% of the 1%. Everybody can actually acquire an artwork. Yeah.
I am Chief Olumide Oniru, the Olokpon of Iro Kingdom. I'm here representing His Royal Majesty Oba Abdulwasiu Omambola Lawal, the Oniru of Iro Kingdom.
My name is John Akonde. I'm a figurative artist based in Lagos, Nigeria. So, and I love to paint my culture. I love to talk about my culture with my heart. So, and I use my artwork as a voice to preach about the richness of my culture and the richness in my identity.
My name is Omoyeni Rachel Agumati. I'm a visual artist. I was inspired by women emotion, resilience, and also talk about the difficulty issue of women, like women abuse and domestic violence. And at the same time, it also reflects about like structure, how people carry history within them. This work take me about 2 days.